Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. My name is Toronite, and joining me, of course, is, I think I would say, an OG of Reignited, but also just an overall great friend and great member of the Spyro speedrunning community. Dylan J. Fox, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited for this run. Excited to see a little bit of Reignited 3 take me back home, you know, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and as Dylan just said, we are doing the third game. So Reignited Trilogy was made in 2018. It basically built from the ground up the first three PS1 Spyro games. So you obviously, you have Spyro 1, you have Spyro 2, Rhythmos Rage, and the best one, Year of the Dragon, which is what we are doing, and we're doing any percent, which is basically akin to kind of the old school Spyro 300 egg category. So we'll sort of explain more of that as we go along, but we are essentially ready to go. Thank you to everyone who donated, and if I am correct, Retro won the poll for the Spyro skin. I already have it set, so without further ado, we are ready to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, good luck, good luck, Toro. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. All right, so an evil plot unfolds. Sorcerer just wants a lot of eggs. That's essentially it. That's the plot of that. I mean, there's more plot, but really, I mean, we're not here for the plot. We're here for some good old-fashioned gaming. So, here's how it works. So basically, Spyro 3 operates a little bit differently from Spyro 1 and Spyro 2. The main way to progress in the game is by collecting eggs, which you'll see throughout the entire level. Every single homeworld has multiple levels, and in order to, quote-unquote, beat the level, you have to get what we call the end-of-level egg, which is essentially like you get a number of different eggs from a certain NPC, and we're about to show off actually our first trick and call Amy Skip. Beautiful.
Very
first
nice,
try.
Amy Skip.
Yeah, so Amy Skip is basically, by the way, we're going to kind of show off what I just did again, but essentially we are taking advantage of the fact that this game was a little bit rushed, especially Spyro 3. So, especially on the PC version, where we're able to sort of take advantage of some level geometry shenanigans, and there even was one later on in the run that I believe Dylan, you sort of pioneered the skip.
Yeah, we'll see that a lot later. In general, the reason for these differences is because in transition to the PC port, they actually switched over versions of Unreal. Which basically caused some wonky physics, as Toronite mentioned, allowing for Spyro to gain height on geometry, as we saw at the beginning of this level here in Sunny Villa. We'll also see a little bit of this utilized in the next level, Cloud Spires. But as far as Sunny Villa goes, that was basically a pretty flawless first split. Good job.
Yeah, no, I can't lie. I've always been like really nervous when it comes to Sunny Villa, because we're doing technically three different skips. In the first like 90 seconds, and all of them, I think they all went flawlessly. And okay, did that nice. Well. So what we just did, so you're kind of noticing a little bit, like something, just trying to go over and do a little bit of skipping on that big ledge, as opposed to just going into the portal directly into Sunny Villa. That is because there's an NPC called Bianca that will trigger a cutscene if we go anywhere near it. But thankfully, with some of the things that we were kind of showing off, and there we go.
Very good wall glide. Nice. Let's go.
We are able to either do some fancy wall gliding, we're able to do something called perfect hover, which will kind of show it off all throughout the entire run. And all of that has kind of allowed us to be able to sequence break most of the levels in this entire game. That first egg that I just got, that is actually typically meant to be the very last egg you collect. And the second egg that I got was what we call the end of level egg. So the game is now registered it as we have now beaten the level. However, unlike, for example, Spyro 1, where all the levels are unlocked the moment you get into that specific homeworld, a lot of the levels in this game are locked behind egg requirements, meaning we have to get a certain amount of eggs before we have access to that level. And that's why we're getting a lot of these eggs. And in order to actually fight the final boss, the sorceress, we need to get 100. And thankfully, because of the way, as Dylan was mentioning, some of the wonky physics from the transition from console to PC, we're just able to take advantage of a lot of really nice wall gliding, and in some cases, some FPS shenanigans. There's a really funny thing when it comes to Spyro's jump height when it comes to the FPS, and that is the higher the FPS you have set at this game, the lower Spyro's jump height is. So you actually want to try to get it as low as possible. I have it at 36 frames per second because it is the second lowest frame rate, but it still looks really pretty decent, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I always prefer playing this game at 30. I know a lot of people have different opinions on it. I believe for Spyro 1, a lot of people say it's optimal to run on 50. Like you said, 36, 37. There's a lot of variability in that, which can affect things like how easy wall glides can be, how fast gems drop to the ground and stuff like that, Spyro's jump height, all that fun stuff. It's a bit of a wonky game on PC with that all in mind. But if you get used to it, it actually contributes a lot to the overall flavor of its speed game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it becomes just an absolute, like, really fun game once you actually, like, learn some of the tricks, some of the stuff that I've been showing off so far. And there's even cooler tricks that we haven't even begun to explore in this run.
Yeah, I mean, I personally find that the first homeworld, like, it's pretty fun. But you get used to resetting in it, right? It's the first homeworld of the speedrun. Your first couple levels, your first couple splits. So it kind of loses its luster. However, we will be back in this hub, notably in the level Toronite just exited. That is because we are going to be doing a little bit of backtrack shenanigans later on in the run, which we'll call out when it happens. But I wanted to at least point out now because, you know, in case you like this part of the early game, we will be back to it.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing, and the reason why is because it has to do a little bit with the gimmick of Spyro 3, which is it introduces new, like, animal companions, sidekicks that you want, that introduces new different ways to play the game, different forms of platforming, and it deals with a character. It partially deals with a character that we have not unlocked yet. Speaking of characters we have not unlocked yet, we're actually going to do one of my absolute favorite tricks in this entire game, where we are going to super sequence break everything, and we just need to get a hit here, and let ourselves get pushed out of bounds, and enter this portal to be able to access the Sheila minigame, even though we actually don't have access to play as Sheila. So here's kind of the way it works. Basically, every single homeworld has a new character for you to play as. You have to play that character's specific home level in order to advance to the next set. However, there's one trick that we're able to do. Basically, it still forces us to have to play the Sheila level, but it gives us the opportunity to play as Sheila and collect two very big important eggs, because it gives us a lot of gems as well, which is another thing we haven't really touched upon. But it also makes it so that we don't have to come back here and have to replay this level just to be able to get those two Sheila eggs.
Yeah, which of course saves a lot of time, and overall the trick to get to the out of bounds, by the way, if you saw Toronite do it and you're curious how it's done, as you mentioned, just go into the corner, stand there, and then just press X as the second barrel comes over you after you're already in the damage state. It's actually pretty reasonable to do if, like, you're a first-time player and you want to, hey, mess around with some of the speed tech. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Once you kind of see how it's done and you're able to experiment, it is a surprisingly very easy trick to do. It is, like, you may have it encountered in a situation where, like, the barrel explodes and you get hit, but outright failing the entire trick, it's actually it's harder failing the trick than actually executing the trick once you actually have it down pat, which I appreciate. It's a really neat little speed trick that is not that difficult, that almost anybody can do with just even the tiniest amount of practice. All right, we're here at Bluto. I hate this. I hate this egg. It is arguably my least favorite egg in the entire run. So I'm gonna let our host be able to take a little bit of time if there's any messages. Floor's yours.
All right, yeah. I just wanted to tell you all a little bit more about the charity that we're working for here. GATE, the Global Action for Trans Equality. They're a global trans-led advocacy organization dedicated to advancing gender equality for all, and their mission is working towards justice and equality for trans, gender diverse, and intersex communities. They take pride in being an international organization that is led by trans, gender diverse, and intersex staff and board members from all regions of the world. So it's a wonderful cause to donate towards.
Absolutely, could not agree more. One thing that some of you may have started to notice, the eggs that we've been collecting, they have their own little names. They were already named and everything. That last egg that we got, its name is Dizzy. Chat, I want to know, what is your, if there's a name that you like among the 100 eggs that we're going to be, technically 101, but of the 100 or so eggs that we're going to be collecting, shout out your favorite name that you see throughout this run. There's already a couple of standout names that I have in mind. We have not encountered yet, and there's even one that that is so beloved, it has its own category where it's literally just get this specific egg only because the name is funny. Dylan, what is your favorite name, egg name in this game?
It's going to be the 44th egg you collect in your run. However, I actually, about the egg that you were referencing, I want to tell a little story about that. Mm-hmm. So in the original game, there were a bunch of skips in order to get through to the end of Evening Lake, the third homeworld in this game, right? Spoilers, the egg is in the third homeworld. However, you can even get into Midnight Mountain, but there was no way to get into the sorceress fight early. So actually, the reason that it was originally conceived was because people wanted to be able to use all of the skips in order to get through all the homeworld and skip through like all of the stuff that you need to do for 100 egg. But they didn't have an actual objective of completing the game, so instead they just chose an arbitrary egg with a funny name and decided that was the one to go for. I just wanted to tell that story because I think it's a really interesting way that the category came to be, because it was basically what previously was any percent. But you know, people needed an objective and something to do with like all these cool tricks and all these skips that they had access to.
Huh, I actually did not know that. I actually didn't know that little bit of Spyro speedrunning lore. Huh.
Yeah, it's a nice little bit. I'm not like from the era in which that was conceived, but I've been told about it retroactively by Jeremy Thompson, who is pretty prolific in the original Spyro games for being incredibly good at 3, in particular Year of the Dragon, the one that we're playing in Reignited. But of course, the original version. Also, speaking of those side characters that you were talking about, we're finally actually playing as Sheila. We have bought her freedom, if you will. In lore, the sorceress basically just said, "Hey, listen, these people are opposing me, and I'm going to put them in cages." That is the literal, actual lore. It's kind of terrifying when you think about it. But we buy their freedom from Moneybags, who is a dubious at best creature, who then basically gets his comeuppance in the cutscenes that we do not watch. And, then we get to play their main level, and then we have access to them in the side areas, regularly. Which, we'll get to see Toronite enter through some of the normal portals throughout this run, I believe. There's a couple that we're going to be seeing later on, for sure. Yeah, that's basically why we're in here.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about the cutscenes is that, like, they get progressively wackier in how those characters, once we free them, respond to Moneybags. Because, like, in the cutscene that we skipped, so Sheila, in the end, basically kicks Moneybags, like, kangaroo kicks Moneybags into the Shadow Realm. And the next one, I'm not going to spoil it. I'll tell you when we actually freed the next character, but it becomes progressively funnier and more cartoonish every time we free the next character.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty funny. They do like a lot of like in the original games, it wasn't quite as like slapstick or like Looney Tunes, but in the Reignited games especially, They make it kind of feel like a little bit of like a Looney Tunes skit with each of the cutscenes with money bags here. All right, and we're on to our first boss fight here. Headed into Buzz's dungeon. So each homeworld has its own specified boss that you need to pass in order to advance to the next one. The first one is Buzz, who in lore was literally just a rabbit. He's just a chill little guy, hopping around, having a good day. And then Bianca, who's also a rabbit, which actually thinking about that contextually is a little bit weird too. Just casts a spell. Think about it like I can't think of anything. Think of it like hedgehogs in Sonic. Think about it like fish in Finding Nemo. You know, this doesn't make sense. Anyway, cast a spell, and then suddenly Buzz is whatever this is. We do a little bit of funny damage abuse here in the second phase. Overall, this boss fight involves manipulating your position to like the edges of the arena to make Buzz ideally go away as fast as possible. I believe Toro is going for marathon safe strat, not like there are things you can do with like the head bash in this fight that can make it a little bit faster and stuff, as well as additional abuses, but it's not something I would advise in a marathon.
Yeah, no, shout out to Logic, former world record holder of this category, who does do the head bash strat to try and skip some of those cycles, which I tried learning, and I mean, dude is absolutely amazing when it comes to this strat. There's a lot of tech. Okay, all right, Buzz, fine, you didn't have to be rude like that. There's a lot of really interesting strats and speed tech when it comes to this boss. Like Dylan said, I was going for like a little bit more marathon safe, which it still ended up being like a pretty darn good boss fight. No mistake. This is actually one of the bigger like run killing points in the early game, especially when you're starting out. This boss is, when you're trying to speedrun, it's surprisingly difficult when you're a bit of a newbie and you're going to lose a lot of runs. So I am very thankful that we did not die here, because that would have been so embarrassing.
I actually thought when you went down to no sparks, I thought that was final hit, and I was like, oh no.
No, yeah.
But yeah, we're on to our second homeworld, Evening Lake. What Toronite just did there at the start, and you'll see them guidebook back to the beginning of this homeworld 2 more times during this. Is they jumped up left and then skipped over the Bianca trigger. Bianca, being an NPC, that informs us that the sorceress really, really doesn't like us. And basically it's just very slow, a lot of dialogue, and I think overall talking to Bianca loses like 6 or so seconds. So we'll basically be doing something akin to what you just saw Toro do 3 different times throughout this run in order to skip over it. Also, I forgot the level route, so it is my favorite egg is actually in the next level that we'll be in, not egg 44. I was mistaken for which level we do last in this homeworld. I had it mentally confused.
Now I'm wondering, like, wait, 44? I actually have no idea. I've done how many runs of this game and I still cannot remember. I probably only remember like 10 dragon eggs. Like I'm like the absolute worst when it comes to remembering that. I only remember the funny ones, like Peanut right there. Shout out to anyone named Peanut.
That's my dog's name. I just walked in before we started.
Oh really? Oh, that's right. Your dog name is Peanut.
Yep. Just a little beagle guy. Eats rocks sometimes.
Honestly, my cat Archer is kind of a similar levels of the way he acts. He can be a bit of a dummy, but I love him still.
Yeah, I respect it. Speaking of dummies, here's Hunter. This guy, he's not trying to help us like save our kind who've been kidnapped. He's just skateboarding, and I think that's kind of messed up. What do you guys think? What do you think, Toro? Do you think it's messed up?
It is very messed up. The fact that he does it for a second game is incredibly messed up, because he does basically this. He safeguards. He keeps you from collecting the main collectibles in the game unless you do XYZ thing. And he does this in Spyro 2, which is actually even more messed up for Spyro 2, because it's his world, his home, that is basically being invaded by Ripto. And Yeah, no, I honestly think Hunter is a bit of a bad guy. You know that theory, that fan theory about Jar Jar Binks actually being like the supreme like Sith Lord or whatever. I kind of think Hunter is kind of in that vein. Like I think he is secretly the ultimate villain in the trilogy.
There was my favorite egg right there. Yeah. Got
Oh
Mingus.
yeah,
Shouts to Mingus.
yeah. Mingus is great.
I think it was 44 in 100 egg. I could be wrong. I'm probably confusing it so much now. All right, so here we're gonna see a little bit of a damage abuse here in this corner. Very nice, well done there. Basically, you usually have to hop on the cannon to the right at the level start to break that wall down, a la Chris Jericho. However, instead of that, we elect to utilize the enemy's explosion range, which we can, if we get it close enough, use to just break the wall. Here we're going to see Toro shoot that down. Fun fact on the cannons in this game, if you double input, as in you press left twice, it'll move the cannons twice as fast, regardless of which cannon you're on, whether it's OG1, Reignited 1, 2, or 3. It will simply work out that way. And then from here, we're going to see a funny little jump. Very nice. Very nice manual jump. That's actually a lot harder than it looks. That usually is something that people will reset to or like have trouble with.
Yeah, no, Icy Peak is definitely a very technical level because there's a lot of skips and a lot of like very difficult jumps and gaps to have to overcome. But so far, no problem whatsoever. I love doing these next two eggs because they're basically done in kind of reversed order because you're actually meant to get this yellow thief first and then get the red thief, but we are basically just doing the inverse of it and basically going on a head-on collision with this one, and boom.
He's gone. I love how he ragdolls back. It's such like it's such an impactful hit that you nail him with.
The OG has a really funny, I guess it's a glitch you want to call it with that thief, where you can basically, have the thief kind of reset its position like in a very awkward state, and it's really funny because it just repeats its sound effect like stacking one over the other like a million times in the original PS1. By the way, this is Sergeant Bird. He is the next character that we just unlocked, we freed. His whole thing is just flying around, like free flying and shooting rockets. And he uses those rockets to shoot at money bags and basically blow him up in the cutscene that we don't get a chance to see.
Yep. One thing I do got to say about Sergeant Bird, if you've never played him as Reignited versus the original game, casually, vast improvement. I love the way he controls versus OG. He just feels good overall, I would say, compared to. Then he has like a nice like little design. Like I think he looks really good. He's one of the better Reignited like 3 redesigns in my opinion.
Oh yeah, agreed. The way he moves in Reignited is it's so much nicer to go. One thing I don't like is his rockets just have a tendency to just kind of drift real badly. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, I kind of have no complaints with Sergeant Bird. Okay, so this next thing that we're about to do is gonna look a little weird. It's gonna look a little weird at first, and you're gonna be wondering why I did that. This is kind of basically, so Spooky Swamp is the only level in this entire game where the game, and so we timed these with an in-game timer. Or not an in-game timer, that's for console, load remove timer. And the load remove timer actually keeps playing even though the screen is black for like 4 or 5 seconds. So we actually lose time doing just waiting for the game to naturally bring itself up. And so all we do, we time quit game and then continue, and it'll bring us up, and that will eliminate that waiting where you're waiting for like 4 or 5 seconds and literally cannot do anything. Plus, it also brings Sparks, our little dragonfly friend, back to 100% health.
Yeah, which can be really useful, especially if you're like down to like green or whatever. It's just nice to get like a free Sparks refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall this level is a pretty neat one though, I find, for like that like little bit. Aside, if like that didn't exist, this level is like the most simple, just kind of like charge through. I think in the games, because there isn't like, unfortunately, like any like way to like proxy or like maybe alternate the route. Like the most you can do is there's like one really difficult jump that isn't really RTA viable, that you can technically do, but it's also I think it's like a half a second faster. It's just not worth it. All right,
Okay,
so here we're gonna see Toronite attempt getting 2 eggs at one time. Okay, sweet. You're doing it this way. We're gonna go through. Toronite's gonna aim this fireball at that base. It's going to trigger an egg to be spawned in. We're gonna talk to Modesty. We're also gonna collect Mat at the same time, which basically allows us to double up on our egg cutscene, save a little bit of time, and get that free teleport to be right in front of Bamboo Terrace.
All right. We don't have a name for it, but I'm just gonna call it the Dylan skip, because you basically pioneered this. So this is. See if I can get this. Ah, beautiful, flawless first try.
Yep, that was actually really solid. Yeah, that trick is it's a very weird wall glide. TLDR, like people figured out that you can kind of glide up to like that corner bit where Toronite like initially bonked, and then. When experimenting the level one day, we just found that like you could do a little bit of extra gliding if you turn Spyro a certain way. It's actually weirdly precise, like the angle that you have to have Spyro turn to. But if you can get it down to like some form of science, it saves, I believe, about like 7 or 8 seconds across the old route we used to do in this level, where you used to do it like kind of more casually, just straightforward. Which, you know, I'll take 7 or 8 seconds. Pretty reasonable.
Plus, it looks really, really cool, and I can't lie. It really is. I would say, out of all the different versions of like flying up, using the geometry to kind of propel us to places that we're not supposed to, at least in the way that we're doing them, I would argue this is one of the harder ones to do, and it took me a long time for me to be able to sort of master that one. But yeah, it kind of goes to show, like, this game is very forgiving for new players. It's not like you don't have to do this in order to like get a good time and everything. So that's why I personally love this game as a speed game, because there's a lot of really cool tricks that you can do that is not like backbreakingly difficult to achieve.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a very high trick volume category, but not a high trick like difficulty for the most part. Like there are hard tricks. We'll be coming up to one here in another like 20 or so minutes, I believe. But it's, generally speaking, I would say a nice like spread of like reasonably easy tricks, and then unfortunately this boss fight, which I will take a moment here to give flack, because to put it very simply, this boss arena does not look anywhere near as good as the originals. I hate to be that guy, but it doesn't. I miss the originals. His legs are too stubby, and his chest is too large, and his run animation is an Unreal base asset because they didn't have time to make it, which is understandable from a game dev perspective. They were on a time crunch, but I still hate it. That is all.
Yeah, no. Spike in this game and in the other game, also, that may have been the best Spike I've ever had. I just realized. That actually is... I'm gonna get a massive gold off of this. It's like not a massive, but it is a gold split for me. What you may not have noticed, but I actually achieved something that is extremely rare, which is getting a rare triple rock phase 1. Mm-hmm. The way that fight works was basically there are 3 phases: red rock phase, and then a fire rock phase, and then a purple rock phase. And typically just 2 hits for each, and you usually only have enough time to be able to do 2 red rocks, or 2 hits on each phase. But we managed to be able to get really good RNG on where the rocks in phase 1 were being placed, and it gave me the opportunity to get a 3rd hit on phase 1, which actually does save a lot of time. It can potentially save anywhere from like 6 to even like 10 seconds. So yeah, no, that was a ridiculously good spike.
You know, it was very, very good. The triple rocks are just like generally like, you know, obviously it comes down to like if you hit whatever happens, but you worked it well. It was very, very good. Frozen Altars, I think is like one of my favorite levels when I first started like running this category, because it has like this perfect hover you've just done over Cecil, and then it has like this next follow-up where it's like a pretty challenging wall glide. It's one of those tricks or levels where like there just is like a lot of components to it. Very nice wall glide. Let's go. And it's a very good risk reward, because doing that wall glide, if you do mess it up, you lose like, I think it's like 25 seconds or something. It takes forever to get back all the way around and everything.
So yeah, so now we're kind of basically done. Yeah, no, this level is actually like a lot longer than what we actually shown off. But yeah, all those wall glides and perfect hover kind of cut the level basically in half. So we're actually, so this first act that we're about, actually not this, actually the next couple of acts are actually pretty funny names. They are pretty funny. So let's kind of get to know them really quickly. And there's Stubby first, and then here comes the first egg that we're going to encounter is actually that egg that we were kind of mentioning earlier about that, the fact that there is a whole category named after it, where it is literally just get to this egg and you complete the category. And then after that, host, we can give you like 15, 20 seconds after we get this egg. Noodles. Everyone say hi to Noodles. That is the category Noodles %. And yeah, our host, we got time for something real quick.
Yeah, all right. Well, we do have a $50 donation from Lizard, who says, "Hi, Damasu. Oh, hey, that's me. Hello. Congratulations on Lizard hosting your Lizard. Totally going to crush this. Best of luck, Lizard, to the runners as well. Less than 3." And thank you for that.
Awesome. All right, so now comes one of my favorite tricks in the entire game, Sam Skip. See. Really?
Ooh.
Really? That, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. We have another shot at it.
Yep, you got this. That's perfect. Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Wow, I have not missed Sam Skip in like my last 50 attempts, and that was like, we're talking about inches on that. That's fine. That was honestly the first real big quote unquote mistake of the run, and it's not even a major mistake because we still managed to save it. No, this run, I'm gonna say execution wise, this run has been up until that Sam Skip, it was practically flawless. Basically, we save about 20 seconds doing that skip. Because we have to, it's not a difficult minigame doing it casually. You just basically run through the entire HQ, but we have discovered that the damage boost that you get, where it sends you back getting hit with the bomb, is just enough to be able to propel you to the platform where the egg is, negating the need of ever needing to do the actual minigame in and of itself, because like all that you're missing is you're just missing a lot of like some gems which aren't really relevant in any percent. We need to collect in any percent. We need to collect a total of 2,300 gems, but really only 2,000 because the last 300 are gonna come by so naturally we don't even have to factor in routing to collect those final 300. And we only need like not like 250 or so, 246 to get to what I want to do, which is free the last animal companion that we're gonna free. There's technically one more, but we're honestly not gonna free him because we do not need to.
Just keep him in there, honestly. We don't want him anyway. We don't like that one. He controls.
No, yeah. Once you actually get a sense of what that guy is all about, I'm sorry. You know what? The sorcerer. I don't want to like. Oh, you got to hand it to the sorcerer, but probably doing a public good, keeping him in a cage.
Yeah, an absolute menace to society, if you will. Speaking of menace to society, this level. I don't know how you feel about Charmed Ridge. I love it as a casual experience, but overall I find this level to be one of the hardest in Reignited. It just has like a lot of like little challenging things. You have this like little perfect hover there and having to charge into that. There's one part of this minigame in particular that always trips up new players, which we'll see here in a second. After we skip this cutscene, then we still see Jack awkwardly walk all the way here in a very normal way. It's interesting every time.
All right, Chad, rate the fit, rate Jack's fit. He also has, I don't know if you noticed, but he has a necklace, a gold necklace that just has his name, which, I'm going to be honest, deducts a couple of points off of me. By the way, we did the trick, no problem. Kind of deducts a little bit of points on my personal score. You know, if you got to tell people who you are with your jewelry, then obviously I think you're not doing that great of a job selling yourself.
So, do you think, like, Krillin and Dragon Ball having, like, the Krillin hat is, like, pretty bad for him, or no? Because I think that fit goes hard.
I think it's fine, because it's not, like, a bit of a... Admittedly, also, the jewelry is a little gaudy. The hat is fine. The hat is fine, I think, but it's not the...
Okay, I got you. So, it's, like, doing too much.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
It doesn't vibe with the whole fit, with the aesthetic that we're trying to go for, like trying to do like I don't know, like a little bit of a Peter Pan type of inspiration with the fit, like, and then you put in like a gold necklace. I'm like, really, dude?
Yeah, personally, I mean, I just can't get past the look in his eyes. I find them to be rather piercing.
Yeah. We kind of just glossed over the fact how difficult Charmed to reach as a in any percent, and we just kind of did it like practically flawlessly. All right, Lost Fleet, no problem on that one. On this first trick, this is another one where there's a lot of like sequence breaking. Like, for example, this first egg that we're about to collect can technically be the very last egg that you're about to collect, but no problem here in being able to take advantage of the fact that there's a lot of platforms here that you can collect with some relatively little effort in terms of getting the perfect cover in, using the wall glide as we kind of show off this entire run. Now comes one of a very potentially volatile egg, subs 1, and it's... Okay, oh my god, I don't know how I saved it, but I saved it.
The first two subs there, in my opinion, are the most important to get here. The way that this cannon works is it's right up the front of the sub, and you want to shoot. It has this lock-on mechanic, but we try to free fire it as best we can, simply because it is faster. Toronite actually doing pretty good with that. That's a decent subs. Yeah, that's definitely solid. They all are on consistent cycles that you can make, so you can make that egg like super duper fast. But once you miss one, it kind of offsets the flow of it like quite a lot. So it tends to be a place where like a lot of runners pour like hours and hours of practice into. And yeah, and then from here we're gonna grab the end of level egg from Crazy Ed, who looks wonderful in those glasses, might I add.
I love
Ed. He's
Ed.
just a good guy.
Ed is one of my favorite NPCs. Yeah, Ed's one of my favorite NPCs in this entire game. I'm just gonna say it.
I mean, listen, I agree. I think he's one of the GOATs of all time.
I mean, dude owns a submarine, lets us use it for free. I mean, he's a homie. Ed is just a homie.
All right, so homeworld movement time. Got a lot to do here. We're gonna grab Stuart first after using that power-up gate to gain invulnerability. I always found it really weird how they just have like the power-up gate there just to like jump 2 platforms, but I mean, hey, listen, it's something, I guess. And then this jump here. Okay, got you. You do it.
I'm gonna go with the marathon safe one.
You can jump directly from that bit on the castle straight over to Hannah. However, it is an incredibly tight jump, so I don't actually blame you whatsoever for not. And perfectly gemmed to 1,000 to pay money bags to free our boy Bentley and to his outposts. This is our final critter we're going to be playing as, of the new ones at least. We'll be back on some old faces, but this is the last of the new ones. What do you think about Bentley and Reignited? I actually like him a lot more than OG myself. I think he moves a little bit snappier.
As far as his movement, yeah, I love the way he moves in Reignited. You could like twirl him around and everything. I love it. Not in love with the design, and also not in love with his brother, Bort. I'm not even going to call him by his regular name. I'm going to call him Bort.
Yeah, I think Bentley's Reignited design actually, notably his hyper-realistic feet, definitely bother me. I don't know why they are so, like that. Why are they so detailed? They have cracks in the toenails. Like, why? Don't look at his model too.
And suddenly now everyone is also bothered by it now that you mention it.
Your tongue is too large for your mouth. Like, is it like, you know how it is, or what is it? Is it your tongue is like sitting in your mouth? What is it? What is the thing that?
What?
No, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a house.
No,
It's like a thing that they say, and I think like House MD or something like that, where it's like you're breathing actively now. It's like you think about your breathing, or you think about where your tongue is sitting, so you can't find a comfortable space in your mouth for your tongue. Yeah.
Okay, granted, I've only been living in the U.S. full time for about 7 years. I have never heard of that, ever, of that saying.
You've heard of the breathing one, right?
No.
It basically, it's just supposed to make you acknowledge something that like you otherwise wouldn't. It's like then you have to think actively about it. Like your habits, like, you know, your tongue is always resting in your mouth, so once you think about it resting, it's like, oh wait, no, I don't want that. Bentley's feet spark joy.
Yeah, no, I can.
I'm just gonna leave that comment, and we're into the.
Great segue into literally the hardest and most stressful trick, arguably, in this entire trilogy. Rocket storage. Okay. I'm going to very quickly lay the foundation. Okay. Scorch is a pain. Bentley is going to be throwing us a couple of rockets, and the objective is to try to set the entire field up to where we are trying to get a hit at a specific frame with certain rockets out on the field. I'll shut up and let Dylan kind of explain it a little bit more, because this literally will decide whether or not this even has a shot at PBing. Because this run has actually been going very, very well. And okay, 4x to start, that's not ideal. Green rocket, no, also not ideal.
What Toronite's going to be looking to do here, as soon as humanly possible, is the green rockets that are being sound by Bentley do the same amount of damage as the red rockets. However, you only get one of the green. And additionally, the green one's the only one that we can take out of the fight. Very nice, we got a red. We're in business for the minute. So from now, we're going to be nipping Scorch into not moving that much, as well as trying to get green rockets and red rockets onto the field, ideally, to the point where we only have red rockets available on the field. This is because Bentley has a pool of 6 potential items he can draw from. There are 4 green rockets, 2 red rockets, so off rip, you have a 66% chance at getting better odds. But what ends up happening, more often than not, is Bentley will just throw you a lot of green rockets, like we're unfortunately seeing him do here. So I believe for this final hit, Toronite is going to have a 1 in 4 chance of getting the wrong one. Oh no, you actually do have 2 reds. I didn't even see the second one land. And then once Bentley stops, we're going to time this. Very nice. That should hit. That should work. I don't think you did that early. I think that was right on time. Good situational awareness. Gets the rocket.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at. I'm just the greatest of all time. Listen, I'm just going to be honest. I cannot stress how absurdly difficult this trick is. This trick is unbelievably difficult. And the fact that we actually hit it first try in a marathon fills my heart with an immeasurable amount of joy.
Yeah, it also is probably one of the most important hit in the speedrun, right? Because if you do miss it, there's a backup that loses 2 minutes. So pretty much, as mentioned, Toro is, I believe, on pace, on a actual legitimate PB pace, which, you know.
Yeah, right now I am 6 seconds behind PB, which is still very much makeable. We're gonna try to aim for, like, I'm on risking the entire run on this. So I'm playing it a little bit safe.
Yeah,
okay, good.
I've run off that edge so many times.
I want, so basically you're gonna see why we actually did rocket storage in the first place. It may not seem clear right now. It'll be clear in about 3 seconds. We got that green rocket, and we can now shoot green rockets to be able to blow up this one plane to teleport us to this little pedestal to get that egg, and that essentially opens up the entirety of the level. Whereas otherwise, we would have had to collect another 1,000 gems to pay money bags to be able to access most of the level.
And it's always very like striking to me, like, because when I came into the scene, we were still doing that route, right? I've been running for about 5.5 years now. We were still doing the route where we had to buy money bags. So as soon as rocket storage happened, it caused a pretty massive explosion with this category, because this level suddenly had something that you could just do in it that actually like made it palatable. Because otherwise it was just, okay, we have to route in an extra 1,000 gems. This is really obnoxious and it feels very slow. But yeah, overall it fundamentally changes the category, notably this level. It also changed the homeworld routing, because originally you would do Crystal Islands, I believe, last or second to last. But this was also during an era where we didn't do the backtrack for Molten Crater, so you were routing more gems in earlier as well. But yeah, overall, really good Crystal. Really solid.
Yeah, no. This has been an incredibly solid run. Very, very, very solid run. But just because we hit Rocket Storage does not mean that it's smooth sailing from this point onwards. We still have 20 eggs left to go. And collectively, these are the 20 hardest eggs in the entire game. Collectively speaking, starting with this one, Haunted Tomb, which is home to a very simple trick, but an extremely difficult and pressure-filled... What am I talking about? It's me. I get it first try. It's me, of course. Like that. Okay, so that was Torch Jump. It looks really simple. It is unbelievably difficult, especially if you're like on a run like mine in a marathon setting, close to essentially on potential PB pace. Getting it first try is no joke whatsoever. There was one shout out to Surf, the former console world record of this, missed that jump, that perfect cover, 8 times, and lost about I don't know, like 24 seconds from that. So getting it first try is a massive badge of honor on a pace like this. So hopefully I can get a nice snipe on the first one. We're basically trying to get a snipe on all 3 of these tanks that are like behind these little pots. The first one went well.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
fine.
I was gonna say, you're trying to manipulate the position based off of where Spyro's perspective at the start of the shot to going like left or right perspective to it. Basically to try to get the guy who's behind the pot to go to the other side. So like if you're going left, he's going his left, but to your right, or to his to your perspective, he's going right. To his perspective, he's going left, rather.
There is technically a way to sort of make it, to some people, a little bit easier, which is use keyboard, switch from controller to keyboard and mouse. And it is, I can't lie, it is definitely difficult because, at least for me, the muscle memory I've already built, and just making that transition to, I'm terrible at any game that uses the keyboard and mouse. It doesn't make it easier to do, it's just a different way to manage it. I know a lot of top runners love doing the KBM strats. I just personally love keeping consistent to controller.
Yeah, I mean, I respect it. I'm more or less the same way myself. I never really liked switching over to it. I tried it like twice, and it just doesn't feel right, so definitely respect sticking to your guns there. Alright, so next up, we are going to be heading into the mines. The dino mines, in fact. Before that, we have to pick up this little egg.
I love the mines.
The mines are where I want to be. Listen, we're mining for a dub here. We're coming out with one here shortly. Honestly, it's just been a really great showcase so far. Congrats on that. We, of course, do have a little bit more work to do, but I think you've done an excellent job so far, friend.
Yes, let's see if I can get this this one skip and
collecting Dan.
So close, really close. That's a really tricky jump. That's a really, really tricky jump to do. That's fine. Let's go for it again. There we go. That's still faster than having to reset the game and starting from scratch the level and just going through it normal. That is still actually faster, believe it or not. Not much in here for the rest of this level, so if our wonderful host has anything to say, floor is yours.
Yeah. Sorry, just had to find all my windows again.
You're good.
Yeah, no. We've got another donation here. $5 from Kitsune, who says, "Let's rocket the number of donations." And just
Love it.
as a reminder, if you want to donate, you can type in !donate in chat to get the link, or there's a QR code you can scan on your screen as well when it comes back around.
All right, so we have one brand new level left to go. But before we actually get to it, there's still a few more eggs we need to collect. Starting with this one, Eevee, and see if I can manipulate this thief to go.
Nice, well done.
Oh my god, that was. I'm gonna be honest. The moment I jumped, basically what we try to basically manipulate the thief to go to the left and try to kind of cut it short. It is typically a very long chase that you have to do, but doing that cuts it by a significant margin. And I knew if I hovered, I was not going to make that platform. So it was basically, heart of the cards, guide me, and let the flame go wherever they end up going. So far, not bad. Okay. This is our last time playing as Sheila, so everybody say hi to Sheila with a pretty nice little, cozy, 2D platforming, which I appreciate. I don't know why, it reminds me of the Crash bonus rounds, where it's just entirely 2D side platforming.
I think this is called Crash Kangaroo in the guidebook, by the way. As in K.
Oh, it's a
KRASH, not CR.
Oh, no, but I get... Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that
this
makes
entire
sense.
level is filled with a lot of references. We'll see them at the end, but there's a certain individual raiding tombs whose name I'm sure that you actually know, but utilize a slightly altered version. But yeah, overall, this I think is the big reference level. Weirdly, even in the remake, or not the remake, even in the original mod called Spyro 3.5. They used this level to name a bunch of Doctor Who doctors, even making reference to Spyro's original beta name there with Pete, as in Pete the Dragon. And then this egg here, I don't know who Nelly is, but I'll just say whoa to the Nelly. Thank you.
And...
I appreciate at least the pity chuckle, I'll take it.
Yeah, see, I made a joke, please, Lee. Whoa, Nelly, please
Chat,
laugh,
guys.
please.
Chat, please.
All right. Really? Oh, okay, fine. You want to be that way? Fine. No PB for me. Fine. That NPC kind of glitched, and it forced us to have to leave the level, or leave the side area in order to actually get it working again. Have not had that happen to me in a hot minute, so of course it happens on this run of all thing. That's fun. There we go. Ooh, and get the fast yellow thief as well. But yeah, we're basically just now, basically at the home stretch. We're practically nearly done. We're just basically rounding out eggs that we didn't get a chance to collect the first time, or rather, it makes more sense leaving them for now as opposed to earlier. All right, now this egg is extremely important because we're here at Sergeant Bird, we're Molten Crater, we got the egg, and we're done. And we're done.
Just in time. Let's go. Very solid Molten Crater backtrack there. Very, very good. We will absolutely take it. And as mentioned before, we are going to backtrack yet again, go back to Desert Ruins, run over here, trigger this cutscene, and then we are, of course, going to be talking to Tara Croft, the Tomb Raider. Anyway, yeah.
Get it? Because it's a reference to Croc.
Yeah, dude, I love Croc. Big Croc fan here.
I love Croc too. Croc 2 is the greatest gun of all time. But, of course, we're only doing Spyro today. But, Croc, in another universe, I'd be running Croc 2 right now.
Shoutouts. Croc 2 is the better one of the two games. All right.
And just like that, we are at number 100, and we're basically now fighting the sorcerer. We are about if all goes well, we're about 2 minutes away from calling it time. So here comes there's kind of a bit of a subplot with Bianca, where Bianca, she's the right-hand girl of the sorceress, and then through the power of love and Hunter being just an absolute idiot, she turns to the good guys. And Hunter and Bianca start dating after this, which, ew, love, gross, ew.
That's what
Chat,
I'm saying.
am I right?
Yeah, I love the skybox and the sorcerer so much. It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's really, really well done. Like, a lot of the designs is for Reignited is just really, really nice. We've been listening to the original soundtrack, because that's one cool thing about the Reignited trilogy, is that you can cycle through either the original soundtrack or I'm gonna wait. Either the original soundtrack or like a bit of a remix Reignited track. Ooh, nice first cannon phase. And we've been listening to the OG because I'm just extremely nostalgic for the original. But the Reignited tracks, some of them are really, really nice, and there are a lot of people that would argue some tracks on the Reignited remix is better. It's done better than the OG. But yeah, here comes the sorceress. There's 3 phases. There was a cannon phase that we just had. Now we're going into this little tank phase, and hopefully it ends up being better than the Haunted Tomb tank phase. It does. All right, time's coming up, and maybe about 35, 40 seconds from now, if all goes well. You know, that's fine. As long as I don't get hit again, that's fine. This UFO's phase, basically... Oh, okay. Got nervous for a second. All right, 2 more hits. Time's coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1, and go.
The classic, just with
and 1 and go and 1 and time and time and time and time. Anyways,
yoga instructor. Holy.
And there goes egg number 101, George. Everyone, say hi to George, the best character in the entire trilogy.
Hi, George. I love George. Shouts to George.
Yeah, George is amazing.
GT Store, great showcase. It was awesome.
Yeah, I really have no real complaints. The overwhelming majority of this run was done practically flawlessly. We hit rocket storage, no mishaps on any of the bosses. Even got a gold split on one of the bosses, Spike, which is an incredibly difficult one to. An incredibly difficult boss to get a good one in because there's a lot of RNG involved. But yeah, no, I am extremely grateful and thankful to Fast Pace Event for letting me be the opener for day 2 with this wonderful, wonderful game. I loved every bit of being a part of this group as a runner, and yeah, that will be, and yeah, that's essentially kind of it for me. Shout out to the Spyro speedrunning community, both the OG and the Reignited version. They're kind of basically 2 different, 2 basically branches off the same tree, but they are all wonderful regardless. And like one of the best things I've done in my speedrun career was being a Spyro runner, because it opened the door to so many opportunities and made like great friends like Dylan, who was more than gracious to join me on here. And yeah, if you want to follow, if you like what you see, I am currently on a grind to try to get to top 5. I am 28 seconds away from top 5, 30 seconds from the next minute barrier. I also run a lot of stuff like Pokemon, Ghostland Yard, a lot of PlayStation 1 and Game Boy Color games. So, and I will be back tomorrow as your host for day 3 of this event. So I'm very much excited for that. Dylan, anything you'd like to say?
Nothing really. Just thanks for having me. Honestly, great showcase. It's always nice seeing Spyro representation at these marathons, just generally speaking. But it's even more so nice just to see Reignited. It's always a nice like little blast from the past for me. It's nostalgic. This is where I started in speedrunning, obviously. And you know, of course, like I've told you before, You are one of, if not the most equipped person to showcase this category, which is my favorite in marathon. So it's honestly just a pleasure to be here, and it's an honor to be by your side, my friend.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. And yeah, that is it for us. Thank you so much again to everyone for having us on.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful run by Toronite here. Everyone give it up for him.